Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome into WagerTalk. It's time for Last Call, your prime time preview here. We're talking week 15, Thursday night. It's the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This should be a really interesting divisional matchup between these two teams. Look ahead lines. We haven't seen much movement. We were seeing a 5.5 at look ahead, still 5 or 5.5 across the board. As for that total, 43.5. And again, still sitting right at that number. I got a great show for you guys. Open up your Odds Logic page. Let's shop these lines as we go over. We've got picks, props, predictions across the board in this one. Carmine Bianco will join me first, then Andy Lang. So make sure you get in the live chat over here on YouTube. Drop those questions, drop those comments. Do us a solid over here as well. Hit that like button and tell your friends. Tell your friends about Last Call. We're going to break this down. So get those questions in there. Seeing the new members popping in and the comments coming in. Hi to you guys. So let's bring Carmine in.
Hey, Joe, how's it going? Another great NFL night. Such a intriguing matchup tonight. And yes, if you're not already doing so, definitely log into Odds Logic. You get the injury updates. You get game delay updates. I just saw one pop up that the Pittsburgh Penguins Montreal Canadiens game is delayed due to traffic. So 7:30 start there instead of 7 o'clock. For those of you who are rushing to try and get a bet in on that one. But we're talking football today.
Yeah, we absolutely are. Now, we've already seen this matchup this season. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers able to pull off a win. They won it by 3 points in Atlanta. Now we have them at home in this one. They're laying 5.5, Carmine. Firstly, what do you think of the spread? The Atlanta Falcons, can they possibly pull off an upset here? What are you liking?
Well, it's not a client play. This one is a circa play for me. I put in all 5 of my circa plays. So if we have some time before Andy Lang comes in and tells you to go opposite of all of my prop bets today, because Andy's the prop master.
Yeah.
I took the Falcons here. I just think 5.5 points is too much. You look at these divisions. And especially this one here, pretty much I think every single team has a negative point differential. That first game was, 23-20. And while while Tampa did a pretty good job of stopping the rushing game there, it was more of Atlanta with Penix going to a passing game. They passed for like 300. I think he passed for like something like 300 yards in that game, kept it close. I just think 5.5 points is too much here. Falcons, Joe, just to throw some numbers at you, the Falcons as a divisional road dog are 6-1 against the spread their last 7 games as a divisional road dog, which they are here. And it's tough to put any stock in Tampa Bay, even with some of the players returning back, like Mike Evans. We'll see whether he's 100% healthy in this one, but they're 0-5 against the spread their last 5 games. That doesn't warm as they say, the cockles of my heart of wanting to take Tampa Bay and laying points in this one. I get it. You can look at last week's game and say, well, the Falcons got blasted against Seattle 37-9. But that was a game that was 6-all at halftime. They just fell apart in the second half. I think they relish the role of spoiler. They really do. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're 4-9. They're definitely not making the playoffs, but they would love nothing better than to spoil it for another team.
Especially a divisional team.
Yeah, and you have to assume for Tampa, when anyone says to me, this is a must-win situation, and you can look at it as a must-win for Tampa, I want to bet opposite of must-win situations because you still have to play the game. Yeah, you still have to play the game on the field. You still have to play it. There's a ton of football to be played. Yeah. So I'm taking them, and I'm going to take a sprinkle, throw a couple of those Italian slices of pizza, the Napoleon pizzas on the money line plus 225 here.
Oh, gotta love that sprinkle on the money line there, Carm. They have every ability to come in. The way they're able to limit Baker Mayfield in that first game for his passing yards. Now, he did have 3 passing touchdowns, but he was held to 167 passing yards in that game. So it's crazy. And then Michael Penix Jr. did, like you said, almost 300 passing yards, 298, 1 passing touchdown. So it's going to be interesting with Cousins here. Any concern on Cousins in prime time?
So here's the thing, you know what I mean? And it goes to the whole play in general is that, I want the Falcons, the road to the Falcons winning this game or staying within the number is that they have to have a balanced offense. Bijan Robinson has to be able to rush the ball in this game. He only carried 12 times in that game in week 1, and that was a healthy Bucs defense. This isn't a healthy Bucs defense. And because if they somehow, and they're allowing 100.9 rushing yards, I think Tampa Bay is what, 8th in the league versus the rush, 100.6. Yeah. So it is getting the running game going, which makes it easier for Kirk Cousins to pass. Obviously in this game, if you turn him into sort of that one-dimensional quarterback where and game plan where he's got a pass to win this game, it's not going to go well for Kirk Cousins. But if they can establish the running game, I think they have a chance at they're going to stay inside the number, and they have a chance at the outright win. Yeah. That's what it comes down to as far as Kirk Cousins goes. Obviously, a different quarterback than week 1 when these two teams last met. But I do think it's going to be I call it Bijan Day today. I called it Skittle Day when I took George Kittle in that we discussed it, and he went over his receptions, he went over his yards, and he got us the money. I have 3 plays on Bijan Robinson in this game, and one of them is receiving yards because Tampa Bay will allow receiving yards from running backs. You look at when they came up to Buffalo and they played the Bills, James Cook had something like 70 yards receiving out of the backfield. So it's 38 and a half yards for Bijan Robinson receiving yards. They'll give those up. In order to stop the run and stop any big pass plays. And then as far as rushing goes, if they can establish the rush, his rushing yards are at 73 and a half. And I think they can do that as well too. This isn't the same Bucs defense as it was in week 1. So we shall, we'll see what we get for them tonight. But the whole must-win thing, I'm not a big fan of that, Joe. And then the anytime touchdown, we got to take Bijan and just complete it.
You absolutely do. So you're taking his receiving yards over 38 and a half, rushing yards over 73 and a half, and the anytime tutty, that's like right around the minus 115 to minus 120 mark. I love it. He should be able to hit all of them.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like if you really wanted to gamble, and it's tough to do with a total that sits like in the 40s. If it was one in the, in the low 50s, you could look at like the double TD kind of thing with Bijan, and two plus TDs is plus 475 with Bijan. So that's probably stretching it a little too far. I hope he gets into the end zone once. I would love for him to get in twice because it just makes me feel that much better about getting plus 5.5 points here with the Falcons.
Now, do you think he could get a touchdown through the air? If Cousins passes it off to Bijan, you're looking at his receiving yards. One thing I want to note, Carm, is the last 2 times Cousins faced the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, he put up 4 passing touchdowns. Today, for Cousins to have over the 1.5 passing touchdowns, is plus 200 and change. I love it. He might sneakily get 2 of those to Bijan.
Yeah, it's tough because in total he's got like seven TDs on the season, 5 rushing, 2 receiving. But I mean, in his last 4 games, he's got 3 on the ground, a couple against Carolina in an OT loss, 1 against the Jets. So we'll see what he does here, but. You look at that game, week 1 against Tampa Bay, he had 12 carries for only 25 rushing yards. They went to a passing game mainly, but in the passing game, 7 targets, 6 receptions, 100 yards receiving for him, and a TD. So he can get the TD through the air against this team. I definitely think he can get a TD through the air.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely an interesting matchup between these two. I love that you're looking at the spoiler here with the Atlanta Falcons to come out nice and strong, Carm. We do have an NBA question in the chats. You got anything on the Celtics? Are you laying 11.5 with the Boston Celtics on the road tonight versus the Milwaukee Bucks?
I think that one we're gonna put that one on pause and let Andy Lang answer
Okay.
that one. I haven't been doing like any NBA, so I would hate if I'm not going to bet it. I wouldn't
Yeah.
tell you to bet it to the gentleman Jay in the chat. So I'm sticking to mainly football, obviously soccer during the day, and NHL hockey, which is going absolutely strong as well too.
Mhm.
So far, so good. NHL hockey, number two. I'm gonna float my boat or pat myself on the
Let's
back or
hear it.
whatever they
Yeah.
call it. Number two at WagerTalk, and number one the last 3, 7, and 30 days. So a little bit of short-term streaks and long-term streaks at WagerTalk with NHL as well too, and a couple plays up tonight in the NHL going at 8 o'clock. So there's a great deal where you can get 3 days NHL All Access for $49. It is a great deal. That's like paying for 2 daily packages or one package and 1 5% play. So that is a great deal in itself. But we're talking football, Joe. I'll throw out a couple more before Andy
Yeah.
comes in.
Let's hear what
And
else you got, Carm.
thank God Andy's following me because then you get two good-looking people on instead of like Beauty and the Beast over here. Unfortunately, on the screen, Andy's a fantastic fella. Here's my circa picks. I am on. Producer Dan's not here, but he would probably chew me out for this. But I took his Philadelphia Eagles minus 11.5
Oh,
in
you're
circa.
trusting them? Okay.
Yes, I am trusting them. Jalen Hurts. I think he's served up all of his turnovers last week. Everyone's full. 11.5. They win by 2 Ds, two
Okay.
TDs plus in this one. I'm taking the team that they say are dead in the water, but they're not. The Chiefs minus 5.5. I've argued with the Prez on this. He says, how does a team like the Chiefs, how are they favored over the Chargers? If the book is telling you that they're favored, they're telling you for a reason. They're not putting a bad line out there. Chiefs minus 5.5. The Giants minus 2.5 for me. Yes, the Giants, the lowly Giants, and then the Panthers. The
Wow.
Panthers minus 2.5. That is not a must win for them because they're playing the Bucs twice
Yeah.
in the last 4 weeks of the season. That will decide. Those two games will decide who wins that division.
Well, and then the Saints got the win last week. I can't see the Saints getting 2 wins in a row,
No,
right? Like,
no,
come on. They're not getting it done.
it's like the designated driver. They've had their one or
Yeah.
two drinks, and they're on sparkling water for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
The Saints are on sparkling water for the rest of the season.
Okay, so the Panthers laying the 2.5. You laid it with the Eagles. Who else did you go with? The Giants. You laid the
The
2.5.
Giants under a field goal.
Okay.
Yep, 2.5. The Chiefs
Chiefs.
minus 5.5. The Chiefs still have a road. They can't win the division, but they still have a road to the Super Bowl. The Chiefs are what, 6-7? The last 2 years, a team that was 6-7 made it into the playoffs, and that team is actually playing tonight, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So there is a road into the playoffs, but a lot of stuff needs to happen. And I'm not a big fan of a lot of stuff needing to happen to make it into the playoffs. It would it'd be one of those ones where you just play it out. And John, he's like, Falcons, seriously, yikes. Look at some of the scores in the NFL this season. And sometimes the ugly duckling wins. 6-1, their last 7 as a divisional road dog are the Atlanta Falcons. They love to play the spoiler role. Let's hope they do tonight.
Yeah, I absolutely think they have every possibility. So grab the Falcons plus the 5.5. You guys, that sprinkle on the money line. Carm, I love it. I wasn't brave enough yet to sprinkle on that money line. I'm going to go in and get that before this game kicks off because if you're rolling with the money line, I got to roll with you. Any thoughts at all on this total? We're seeing some 41.5s now starting to pop. I guess the money's coming in on the under. If you think the Falcons are going to stay competitive, though, Baker's going to put a couple points on the board. Right?
Yeah,
Maybe?
I'm looking at like some of the ones that I see some 43s, obviously there, and some 43.5s. It's tough because you look at some of the numbers and some of the possible score lines. I think a lot of people always think, well, 43 is easy to get there. 21 all. If only it was that easy. But you see some games that are just field goal type games. And this very well could be one of them. if they can't produce in the red zone. I mean, if Kirk Cousins gets down there and it's fourth down, they're going to kick a field goal. It's just what they're going to do. And the same thing. The Bucs just haven't been the same the last 5 weeks. I think they've lost 4 of their last 5 games. How many of those games did people think were must-win games, and they didn't win them? So I'm never sold on the must-win thing. Sometimes it works out, but if that's a handicapping tool for you, then you might as well include the do factor, the zigzag, the martingale, like all of
My
those
mother's
ones.
at the game kind of thing. My mom wins when she goes to Calgary, right?
That's it. It is like allowing the fortune cookie to determine what your lotto numbers are going to be this week. It just doesn't work. So.
No, it doesn't. Well, I want to update everyone out there on the ice. The Tampa Bay Lightning are up 2-0 over the New Jersey Devils. Vegas is up 1-0 over the Flyers. So both of those games in the first period. Everything else is still scoreless. Carm, what time does puck time run during the week?
Puck time, 11 a.m. every single day, live on WagerTalk TV. Myself and Andrew. We have guests, the Prez, Brian Leonard, Don Buster. They'll come on during the week. Tomorrow, there's only a couple games, but we have a fantastic segment going tomorrow. If you tune in at 11 a.m., we're going to cover, obviously, both games. We're going to do a miss or make the playoffs segment where we talk about teams now with some updated odds on whether we think they're going to make or miss the playoffs. They're going to have some client plays that I will mention on that show. The same game parlay in the pod, which is going very well. I'm trying to teach people that parlays aren't always the way to go. And you can make money just playing one game a day. And we're up a little over $1,000 on that, the pod play. So that's going well. And then the 6 and 60 segment where I cover 6 games in 60 seconds that will be played on Saturday. And on the season, there's only been, I believe, 1 losing week on the 6 and 60. So we'll see if we can keep that going.
Wow. Nicely done, Karam. Okay, so you're rolling with the Atlanta Falcons. You're grabbing the plus point sprinkle on the money line. It's Bijan Robinson Day. You've got him for the tutty. You have him for the receiving and the rushing yards separately. Are you doing anything else in this game before we hear what you got for sale on WagerTalk.com?
No, that's I think that's it for me. It's just going to be those ones. Trying to keep an eye on like 3 or 4 different players is just becomes too tough. And I don't put them into like same game parlays because as I talk about on puck time, can you imagine you hit 3 out of 4 of your prop bets, and so you basically hit 75% of your plays, and you lost money, and that is why. But everyone loves them. If you're in it for entertainment, by all means, go ahead and do it. Fire away, make them 14-leg parlays. But if you're in this to make money long term, one play at a time, play them all singles, and keep it going.
Absolutely. Okay, Carmen, what have you got for sale for us over at WagerTalk.com tonight?
2 plays up in the NHL. First one goes at around, I think, 8 or 8:30, and then a late game, 4% play. As I mentioned, NHL is going very well right now. That hat trick, $49 3-day NHL All Access is a great deal. That's going to cover Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday because I likely will not have a card on Friday. There's only a couple games. I'm going to give them out for free on puck time, but I will have a 5% play up on the weekend in NHL. I'm just waiting for the lines to come out for that one. So that play in itself is 35. You might as well grab the 49 and get 3 days of all plays in the NHL.
Absolutely a fantastic deal. You're going to have a loaded weekend, I'm sure, out there for week 15 in the NFL as well. But Carmen, I want to thank you so much for joining us here, breaking down the Atlanta Falcons and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Crushed the books tonight.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me. And now let's bring in the much more attractive Andy Lang.
Let's bring in Andy Lang. Maybe.
Bijan unders.
Bijan unders. That's it. No more drink tickets for you at Westgate. All right. I am out of here. Thanks, you guys. Bro. The best of luck to everyone in the chat. You guys have a great night.
Thanks, Carm. Have a wonderful night. Andy, thanks for being here. How's your Thursday
absolutely. Going? It's busy. It's busy. World Championships of Darts started today, so we got 3 weeks of World Championships of Darts plays. We got Thursday night football.
Back up. You're giving us darts plays? I didn't know this.
Yeah, it's the biggest darts tournament of the year. We went 32-14 last year. This is the #1 bet darts tournament. I mean, the matches start at 7:30 a.m. tomorrow. Our time, they go all day, and it's literally 3 weeks nonstop of the best and the worst darts players in the world. It's wild, but more importantly, it's profitable. Yeah, it's great.
Andy,
it's a
where
great
do you
time.
rank between the best and the worst dart player in the world? I love darts. I didn't know that you bet darts. I love this.
Oh, you really should add it to your portfolio. It's very, very profitable. The lines are really soft. The difference between the number one, what's the difference between the number one like college football team and number 20? The number one darts player in the world is like infinitely better than the number 20 darts player in the world. There's a small group of people that are good, and you can really hammer some of these lines in this tournament.
Oh, this is fantastic. I love it. Okay, you guys, if you want Andy's dart plays, head on over to WagerTalk.com now and grab them. Kicking off at 7:30 Eastern tomorrow morning. So lots of time to still get those in. But Andy, let's talk some Thursday night football. The Atlanta Falcons versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know you got a ton of props. I really hope for Carm's sake you're not rolling with any Bijan unders.
I kind of like Bijan under. Here are the stats. We talk about this every week with Tampa Bay. They're 27th against the pass and 8th against the run. The fact is, in his career, Bijan has not gone over this total once against this Tampa Bay team. In fact, he's not even gone over 63 yards. So you're asking a lot for him tonight. I kind of like Kirk Cousins to go over his passing. I see a lot of different lines across a lot of different books. 3 starts against Tampa Bay. Kirk Cousins' lowest pass total is 276 yards. This is how you attack the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know there's not Drake London. I know Kyle Pitts is a disaster sometimes. I know Darnell Mooney is kind of worthless, but I just think this is how you have to compete with Tampa. And now Tampa's got all their wide receivers back. They're probably going to put up a lot of points tonight. Atlanta's going to be chasing or trying to keep up. And I think the way you do that is you throw. I know it's terrifying to bet on someone like Kirk Cousins, but this is how you cash some of these props. On Shedeur Sanders, that couldn't have been an easier cash on some of his passing props. Nobody wants to bet on him. No one wants to bet on Cam Ward. No one wants to bet on, hobbled Kirk Cousins. But you get these low numbers. Like I see 206.5 on FanDuel against a 27th ranked defense. Yeah. In the pass. Yeah, it's Kirk Cousins for me on the over. I like Jalen McMillan to get over 10.5 yards for Tampa. He's one of the returning wide receivers tonight. He's going to have limited snaps. He's coming off a neck injury, but he's practiced 6 straight full practices. I'm guessing they're going to run a few routes specifically for him. He can get this in one pass. So I think Jalen McMillan's another one that you can look at. And then we'll look at pass attempts. I kind of like Baker to go over, and this is a little contrarian because he has not gone over in the last 4 games. But again, they get Mike Evans back. They get McMillan. He's going to have the full repertoire of guys, and I'm sure he's going to be very excited about that. So I think he airs it out a little bit tonight. That's where I'm looking at in this game.
Yeah, we know both of these quarterbacks have had success airing that ball out nice and deep. Cousins not so far, like really this year. We've seen a couple of really nice passes out of him, but both have their longest pass sitting at 31.5. Was that something you ever considered, Andy?
Yeah, I don't see any trends that really lead me in that direction. I mean, you look at Baker, he's gone under in 7 in a row. Mm-hmm. But again, it changes completely with this brand new lineup, really. So he went 3 games in a row earlier this season, but that's with Evans in there. Hopefully Evans stays healthy. It's just it's a little too volatile for me on that one. Kirk Cousins be the only guy that I would take an over on the longest pass attempt.
Okay, I love that you're rolling with Cousins here because I really did think he could come in here and have success. Like you said, you can't trust Tampa's defense. And if Cousins can do what we've seen him do in prior games versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we should have a really competitive game out there. 4 passing touchdowns in the last 2 versus Tampa. Are you kidding? Is there any? I took his over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Could we expect him to get 2? Andy, come on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You should be playing things like this. Like some of these disgusting props at this point in the season are what's been hitting. Who would have thought the Miami Dolphins are all of a sudden a power running team? Devon Achane's been one of the best props recently. Who would have ever thunk that? So you find these hidden gems that the books and the public are off of, and that's where you cash.
Okay. So high on Kirk Cousins. Who is just a complete pass in this game for you? Like, was there one player that you circled? You're trying to look at some props for them and you just couldn't find a way?
For receiving props?
Receiving, rushing props?
Darnell Mooney is just like the bane of my existence. I don't want to take anything on him, but this number is so low, 38.5. This guy has had like 25 and like nothing against Seattle, but last two games, kind of tougher defenses again. If Cousins is going to throw for 220 yards, surely Darnell Mooney's got to get to 40 on that one. So it's kind of hold your nose and take it. Other than that, they got these numbers that are really tough to try and figure out for Tampa. 40.5 for Evans. I don't know what we're going to get. Godwin, 41.5. Your guess is as good as mine on that one. So that's why I'm kind of navigating towards Jalen McMillan just because his number's so low. He can do it in one catch. That's kind of the only one on the Bucs I'm looking at.
That's a nice one. What do you think, though, of workload here for Bucky Irving?
Hard to say. Like, you look at his rush attempts, and he 15 last week. It's a good number. You got to think it probably falls in line there. And the books know this. 14.5 is his rush attempt number, so you're not going to find any value there. The only one I would look at is potentially Rachaad White over his rush attempts. I mean, I know he had 11 last week, and I know they're getting their wide receivers back, but now they drop his rush attempts to 4.5. Seems awfully low on that one. So if I'm looking at rush attempts, it's probably going to the lowest number, Rachaad White. And again, hey, listen, hopefully nothing happens to Bucky Irvin, but Bucky Irvin tweaks an ankle or something, he goes out. This is an easy cash.
No, come with it. He doesn't do that, Andy. Don't put the curse on him here tonight.
Not putting a bad juju out there. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay, so in the last game out there for the Atlanta Falcons, we saw them keep it really tight versus the Seattle Seahawks in the first half. Then Seattle really got that rhythm in the second. But we know the Falcons defense. They can put that pressure. They can get to the quarterback, get those sacks. Any love for any of the defensive props on the board? We got Leonard Floyd here at the Atlanta Falcons for the anytime sack at plus 142. And then you look at Vita Vea on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, his ability to get to the quarterback, he can do it. He's plus 198. Anything we should look at for the sack market or defensive prop market?
Only one I'm seeing is Pierce for Atlanta. He's gone over in 5 straight. I stay away from the sack props. They've been tough this year. It's definitely quarterback dependent. It hasn't been like you're betting against a quarterback. You're not actually betting on the defender to get there. So James Pierce would be the only one, but I won't be in play for any of the sack props.
Well, I saw Cousins has a rushing prop of like a half a yard. Like, he's not mobile at all, right? So looking at that, Vita Vea or someone from the Bucs maybe to get to him, but a half a yard, Andy, that's always one of those bets you look at. You go, how can he not? But what if he steps back, right? Loses you.
It's over or nothing. It's over or nothing on that one. He's had 5 yards. He's had 2 yards. He's had 2 yards. It's a quarterback sneak, tush push. It's 3rd and 3, and he gets flushed out of the pocket, and there's nobody out there. You can't take an under on half a yard, sadly. There's just too much that can go wrong on a half a yard. I mean, if he does a quarterback sneak and ends up with 1 and you're sitting on the under, you're just so mad at yourself. So It's over nothing.
And after watching Justin Herbert on Monday Night Football, where I thought they shouldn't run him, they can't run him, and then he just ran and ran.
Designed runs for him at the end, leads the team in rushing. It's nauseating to watch. I was on the under.
66 yards. Yeah, I was on the under 19.5 too. It absolutely killed me. And every time he ran, I was screaming. Like, his hand was wrapped up. It was the best. But we're not going to see anyone with hands wrapped up, hopefully, in this game at all tonight. Anything in the touchdown market or any other markets that you're looking at, Andy, for us?
No, not in this game. Fairly limited on props. I've only got one best bet that's up for clients. I attached an NBA play to that one as well. So only one best bet. Primetime games have been fantastic. We've been low volume, but we're 24-13 in primetime games. I don't know why primetime games have been so good to us this year, but it's been the bright spot, so we're just going to rock with that one play.
Oh, I absolutely love it. Okay, so you have your daily show here on WagerTalk. What time can people catch it?
It's noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Tomorrow is a big, big day. It's our biggest day of the week. Football Friday. Yanni joins us. Teddy Covers joins us. Marco joins us. Dan and I do our super contest picks. It's a massive, massive show. Get you ready for the weekend for all these games. We got a lot of weather that we got to talk about. We got line movements we got to talk about. So Football Friday is definitely where it's at.
Oh, you definitely want to check that out. Okay, so you've got darts plays up for sale. What else do you have up for sale, and what kind of specials do you have running right now, Andy?
Let's see. The Monday night or the Monday. Why do I keep saying Monday night? Thursday night football. NBA combo is up here. I'll give you some free plays here while I'm on for the fine people. Let's go to NHL. Go to the Oilers game. Ekholm over his shots on goal. Okay. He's been much more involved in the offense, and he's gone over in. What am I saying? Yeah, he's gone over in 2 straight games, but more importantly, 60% this year, and you're getting it -135. That's a really good one. You can go to that Florida-Colorado game. You got some really good streaks alive there. Carter Verhaeghe over 2.5. You can take Anton Lundell. It's a little juicy. He's gone over his 1.5 shots on goal in 6 straight. I'll give you a couple of NBA plays tonight. Jose Alvarado over 8.5 points. That's at the Blazers and Pelicans game. He's been really involved in the offense, and the Portland Trail Blazers so banged up in the backcourt. This team's the worst in defending point guards right now. So Alvarado is a good one. And then I like Aaron Holiday here, the Clippers and Rockets, over 1.5 made threes. He's another guy that Rockets are known for just being this big team. And then you've got someone like Holiday, who's just the short guy shooting threes, and he's hitting over 50% recently. His minutes are really up. And then I'll share this with you on this show. Just this week, I've started doing an AI predictor. I built my own AI predictor for NBA player props. I just started tracking them. We've only done 6 of them. They're 3-3. For what it's worth, the AI predictor likes Kawhi Leonard over his points, John Collins over his points, Ryan Rollins in the Bucs game under his points, Trey Murphy over PRA, and Renaud over 6.5 rebounds. So we're testing it out in the Discord. I'm not telling everyone to bet those, but it's something that we're going to be testing for the next couple months and see if we can dial in something to hit 55, 56% of play. So see how good AI is at this whole prediction thing here, Joe.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how this is doing in the next couple of months, Andy. Pretty awesome that you built that. So that's super exciting. This game tonight should be a good one. For the people that are just joining, S.Warrior is saying that he's liking Baker Mayfield over 16.5 rushing yards, and Bucky for the anytime touchdown. But can you summarize one more time for everyone out there that joined late what you're liking out there?
Yeah, I'm liking Kirk Cousins over his passing, Darnell Mooney, hold your nose, over his receiving. Carmen and I are going a little bit head-to-head. He likes Bijan over his rushing. I like the under a little bit. I can't say I got to the window on that one and bet it with my own money, so take that for what it's worth. And I'm looking at Jalen McMillan over his receiving, low number. I see this just went to 9.5. Was 10.5 earlier. It's down to 9.5. I'd still take it. You can get there with one catch.
Okay, Andy. Well, all the best tonight. Absolutely crush your books. And if you guys are looking for Andy's best bets, head on over to WagerTalk.com. I can't wait to see what you got for us for darts. I'm definitely going to be checking that out, Andy.
It's a blast. Tomorrow, today was kind of a ceremonial kickoff. There was only 4 matches. Tomorrow is when it starts. It's just non-stop action. There's a lot of plays each and every day. So lot of action, a lot of fun.
Okay, well, crush it, Andy. So we'll see you again here next time on Last Call.
Take it easy. Thanks, guys. Good luck in your bets tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, Andy. Okay, you guys, that was Andy Lang. If you're looking for all of his best bets, make sure you do head on over to WagerTalk.com and find him there. I got tons of stuff going on. But this Thursday night football game, you guys, we're seeing that line still sitting right at that 5.5. We saw Carmine Bianco come in. He's grabbing the Atlanta Falcons plus the 5.5, and there's actually some 6s now out there. Bet365 has moved that line to 6, so you can grab the Atlanta Falcons if you're a little nervous. Plus the 6, always shop for the best of those lines over on Odds Logic to make sure you do get that best of the number and don't have to lay as much juice. So there is a 6 floating around at Sports 411 and Bet365. feel like the Falcons, but he's also sprinkling on that money line. And I love where he's going. I did grab earlier in the week the Atlanta Falcons plus the 5.5. I did expect a little bit of movement in this line. We have seen Hard Rock move that line to 5 as we've been talking here off the 5.5. So there's a whole point difference in between a couple of books. So definitely that's why you open your odds logic page and look around before you put those bets in. As for that total, sitting right on that 43.5. Pinnacle has the 43 right now. I love this one to the over because I do think Cousins is going to be impactful in this game. You got to think Baker with his back up against the wall has the ability to come out here and be able to put some nice drives together, get that ball moving on the Atlanta Falcons defense, who completely collapsed in the second half of that game versus the Seattle Seahawks last week. I think Baker can get some good drives going, even though this offense has had those struggles. But I'm expecting Cousins to be able to answer back. So like I was telling the guys earlier, I did take the Atlanta Falcons plus the 5.5. I haven't sprinkled on the money line, but hearing that Carmine Bianco likes the money line, I got to go in with a nice sprinkle, you guys. And then I'm going to look here at Kirk Cousins. I love him over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Like I said, he's had 5 games versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in his career. And yes, he's played for 3 teams during that time, but 2 of those with the Atlanta Falcons. And he's been able to, in those 2, put up 4 passing touchdowns in both of those games separately, like not combined together. And then he went over the 1.5 passing touchdowns in 4 of the 5. So he's had success against Tampa Bay, and it's been over the years, but it kind of travels with quarterbacks, right? Like even though we get changes on the defensive side of things, you still see them have success against certain teams. So I do think Kirk Cousins is going to come out nice and strong, put up his share. If I had to go one way or the other with that total, it's definitely the over 43.5. I'm with Carm, especially for Bijan Robinson for his receiving yards. I took that one to the over, and I do think he'll get those short passes out from Cousins. So his receiving prop right now is 39.5. It's gone up a little bit, but I still think he could get close to 45 receiving yards in this one. We know how strong he is at putting the yards up after the catch. And that's what I'm hoping for in this one, because I could see, 3 receptions to him and him still clear that number of 39.5. So Bijan Robinson there for his receiving prop. I'm going to pass on his rushing prop. It is hard for Atlanta to be able to run on Tampa Bay with Vita Vea. I just think Vita Vea is going to close off so many of the opportunities on the ground for the Atlanta Falcons. But those short passes from Cousins and Cousins using his arm, I think, is necessary in this game. So Cousins has a passing prop of 206.5. I like that to the over, but Baker should be able to answer back. 221.5. The last time he faced the Atlanta Falcons back in week 1 when they won 23-20, he had just under 170 passing yards, but 3 passing touchdowns, which is just crazy. I did think he wasn't able to hit over like the 200, but I do think he goes over the 221.5. I don't trust the Atlanta Falcons defense. And I think while they'll put that pressure on him, while they'll get to him and put those sacks on him, I just think at some point Baker is going to have some nice deep passes. We're going to see his numbers go over for that passing prop. Leonard Floyd, I think of the Atlanta Falcons, does get to Baker in this one. He's coming in at plus 142 for the sack. And then I would look at Vita Vea for the sack, coming in at plus 200 as well for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I also like a total play here, but it's just going to be on the Atlanta Falcons. And I want to make sure we haven't seen any movement in the line. So just bear with me while I pull up what we're looking at for the Atlanta Falcons team total. I believe it was 19.5 earlier when I got the bet in, but you guys have looked at so many numbers. I don't know about you guys, but you look at so many numbers over the day, things that you want to bet, going to bet, and then end up betting. And I just don't want to give you the wrong total here for the Atlanta Falcons as I'm reading. So you guys, I can't read and talk. I don't know if you can. That's not a strong suit of mine, but the Atlanta Falcons total points, it is 18.5. Now it's actually come down a full point to the over 18.5. You're going to have to lay the juice at minus 120. So I think they can clear 20 points in this game. So I'd look at the Atlanta Falcons team total if you want to isolate one, because I do have a lot more faith here in the Atlanta Falcons and Cousins to come in and play upset. I'm seeing your guys' comments here Cousins doesn't know how to check the ball down, kept me off Bijan's receiving. And I understand that completely, but I do think in this one, we're going to see him have a little bit more success. I'm looking at Cousins to have that game where people are like, okay, Cousins can play again. Jay's saying he's got Bijan on his fantasy team. Yeah, free Bijan. Let him have a huge day. I'm hoping for you that he's able to do it. And I'm seeing the comments too. Falcons got robbed. Cousins stole money. Kirk Cousins stinks. I'm sorry. You have no faith in Cousins. Cousins really is struggling this season, but I do think tonight is the game you see Cousins have that big one. Also, you guys, I want to hear if you think Phillip Rivers is actually going to play on a Sunday for the Indianapolis Colts. What your guys' thoughts are on that. I want to thank everyone that was in the live chat here Monday night saying Phillip Rivers back for the Colts. I thought you guys were absolutely joking. Still can't believe we could see Rivers suited up for the Colts there on Sunday. It's going to be interesting. What do you think the Colts' chances are with 44-year-old Phillip Rivers coming off the couch? We know Joe Flacco came off the couch and he had a big one. But you guys below the show here, let me know what you're liking out there in Thursday Night Football. This one is kicking off here shortly. I want to wish you guys all the best in all your bets. Remember, if you're looking for Andy's and Carmine's best bets, do head on over to WagerTalk.com. Lots of great specials going on right now. I know those flex passes are for sale as well. So make sure you grab those. And just seeing your comments, Riley Leonard will start and Rivers will come in and save the second half. Yeah, Randy, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I really hope Phillip Rivers, if he comes out, you know, he's a grandpa, right? At 44, he's a grandpa. His daughter, I think, is 2 months older than Michael Penix Jr. Like, it's crazy to see Phillip Rivers coming back. I hope he has a lot of success. You guys know I'm a Chargers fan from back in the day when he was a San Diego Charger. So let's hope he has success. But let's make some freaking money. You guys, all the best in all of your bets. Until next time, stay hot. And we'll see you here for Last Call for your Monday primetime preview on Monday. But also make sure you check out Kelly for the college football Last Call in the morning, Saturday morning, as well as Ariel on Sunday. So those shows kicking off at 11 a.m. Eastern. But you guys, thank you so much, all of you, for joining me here, interacting in the live chat. Love having you guys here. We'll see you here next time. Best of luck, you guys.